Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Needy Cat Crafts, and today I want to show you how I make this mesh crochet bag. For this project I used mercerized cotton, but you can use any medium weight yarn that you like in any colors that you like. I also used a 4mm crochet hook. The first part that I want to start with is the front mesh panel. So I'm going to grab my white cotton yarn, put a slip knot on my hook, and then I'm going to chain 34. And here I have my chain of 34. Now instead of working in these front loops here, I'm actually going to be working into these back bumps behind that chain. And I'm going to be starting in the 6th back bump from the hook. So into that 6th back bump, I'm going to double crochet. And here I have one double crochet. Next, I'm going to do my version of a connected double crochet, and it's really simple. First, we're just going to locate this loop kind of going diagonally in the front of the double crochet, insert your hook, and then pull up a loop. And then locate the next back bump on your chain, insert your hook, pull up a loop. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm using the connected double crochet for this project because it will give us a denser fabric. Next, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to skip 2 back bumps on the chain, and then into the following back bump, I'm going to double crochet. And then next we're going to do another connected double crochet. So locate that loop going diagonally in the front, insert your crochet hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert your crochet hook into the next back bump, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is another connected double crochet. Chain 2 and continue this pattern. Skip 2 back bumps into the following one, double crochet. Locate that diagonal loop right in the front, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next back bump, yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You want to continue this all the way to the end. Here at the end, I'm going to chain 2 and then skip 2 back bumps, and into that last back bump, I'm going to insert 1 double crochet. Now I just want to say that if the connected double crochet is too confusing, just make them into regular double crochets. Moving on, our next row is going to be a row of single crochets. So I just turn my work over. I'm not chaining 1. Instead, I'm going to locate that first stitch right here, and I'm going to go right in with a single crochet. Next, I have my chain 2 from the previous row. So I'm going to be single crocheting 2 times into that chain 2 space. Next, I have my double crochet and connected double crochet. So locate those 2 stitches on top. Now, instead of inserting our hook under that front and back loop, I'm actually going to be picking up a 3rd loop as well. So here's my tapestry needle. I'm just showing you I'm also going to be inserting my hook under that loop. So I'm going to be going under 3 loops total. Here we go, single crochet, and I'm going to do the same thing for the next single crochet. Instead of going under these 2 loops here, I'm going to be picking up a third loop right here. So under all of these loops, I'm going to single crochet. This is going to help keep my mesh going straight, if that makes sense, so you don't see any tilting or slanting. Next, I have my chain 2 space, so I'm going to single crochet 2 times. And then I'm just going to continue with my single crochets across. So when you get to a double crochet and a connected double crochet, instead of going under the 2 loops of that stitch, make sure you pick up that third loop as well. And then here at the end, I have a chain 2 space. So I'm going to insert 2 single crochets, and that is the end of my single crochet row. Now the next row is going to be another double crochet row. So start with a chain 4, turn your work over. You're going to skip 2 stitches to begin with, and then into that third stitch, you're going to double crochet. And instead of double crocheting under the front and back loop, you're also going to pick up that third loop as well, just like we did in the previous row with the single crochets. So next would be our connected double crochet, inserting our hook, pulling up a loop, and then under the next 3 loops of the next stitch, we're going to pick up another loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're just going to continue this by chaining 2, skipping 2 stitches, and continuing with the double crochet. Here at the end of this row, I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then into that last stitch, I'm going to double crochet. Next, turn your work, go right in with a single crochet on that first stitch, and continue with another single crochet row. So you're going to be alternating the double crochet and the single crochet row, and in the end it will look like this. Now I know I've completed the right amount when I have 12 holes going up and down, and I have 8 holes going left to right. This completes one mesh panel, and you can see the fabric is nice and dense. It really doesn't stretch a whole lot because of those connected double crochets. You can also tell that the double crochets are stacked right on top of each other. Next, I'm just going to single crochet around this mesh panel. So I'm going to flip my work over, and instead of single crocheting into that first stitch, I'm going to go right into single crocheting into that chain space. So here in this chain 2 space, I'm going to single crochet 2 times. And then I'm just going to continue single crocheting all the way down. Once I've made it to the end here, here's my last chain 2 space. I'm going to single crochet 2 times, and then for the corner, I'm going to chain 1. And then turn my panel over to the side, single crochet 2 times into that space. So just pointing out my little corner here where I chained 1. And now continuing on down the side, I'm going to insert 1 single crochet right here. I'm just inserting my hook under these 2 loops here on the side. And then we've reached another space here. I'm going to single crochet 2 times. And then I made it to another single crochet row, where I'm just going to insert my hook under these 2 loops right here. So continue this pattern all the way down. When we get to the end here, I'm going to single crochet 2 times, and then in the corner chain 1, and then just continue with single crochets all the way around, making sure to chain 1 at each corner. Now I've made it almost all the way around. Here's my last 2 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into that first single crochet. Now I'm just going to secure my yarn by chaining 2 and then cutting. Then just pull that yarn through and pull that knot down. And here is our single crochet border going around the mesh panel. Next, we're going to take a look at the border going around the mesh, and you can choose any color that you like, but I'm going to choose this tan color. So I have a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to remove it, and then into this stitch next to that knot that we made, I'm going to insert my hook, put my yarn back on, and then pull it through, and I'm just going to chain 1. Into that same stitch, I'm going to half double crochet. And then in each stitch going all the way down, I'm also going to half double crochet. And here I've almost made it to the first corner. So here's my last half double crochet until I reach the corner. So find that chain 1 spot, and into that chain 1 we're going to half double crochet, chain 1, and into that same chain 1 space you're going to half double crochet 1 more time. So every time we hit a corner where that chain 1 space is, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and then continue with half double crochets all the way around. So here is my last corner. I'm going to half double crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 1, and then half double crochet 1 more time. And then I'm going to slip stitch into that first half double crochet. For the next round, I'm going to chain 1. Into that same stitch, I'm going to half double crochet. And then continue with the pattern with my half double crochets going all the way around. Remembering that at each corner we're going to locate that chain 1 space, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. And you'll continue this pattern until you have 4 rounds completed. When you have 4 rounds completed, it should look like this. And you'll want to make another one exactly like it. So we have a front panel and a back panel. Next, let's take a look at the side mesh panel. This is going to be exactly the same as the front mesh panel, except instead of chaining 34, we're going to be chaining 14. Other than that, the pattern will remain the exact same. So just to start you off real quick, double crochet into the 6th back bump from the hook, locate that diagonal loop in the front of that double crochet, and continue with a connected double crochet. And then just continue on with the pattern like normal. And when you're finished with the side mesh panel, you should have 3 holes going across and 37 holes going up and down. And I also completed a single crochet border around this one, just like we did with the front mesh panel. Now let's take a look at connecting all of these pieces together. So you're first going to take the 3 pieces that you made, the front and back panel with the insides facing towards each other, and then you're going to line up the side panel just like this, going down the side, around the bottom, and back up the other side. So let's take a look at one panel first, connecting it with the side panel. So locate the 3rd stitch from the corner on that front panel and line it up with the stitch just to the left of that chain 1 on your side panel. So here's another view. I'm just counting down a few stitches, and it kind of lines up with the top of the white mesh part. And then here on the side panel, I'm choosing this stitch that's just left of the chain 1. So put a slip knot on your crochet hook, and you're going to locate the front and back loop on each stitch. For the side panel, we're going to be working into the back loop. And then in the front panel, we're going to be working under both loops of that stitch. Take your yarn and you're going to slip stitch those 2 sides together. And we're going to do that same thing for all the stitches going down the side. So insert your crochet hook into that back loop and then both loops. And then you're going to slip stitch. Same thing with the next stitch, inserting into the back loop and then under both loops, slip stitch. And you're just going to repeat this all the way around. Now I have one front panel connected to the side, and you can see here where I've connected using those slip stitches all the way around. And I'm just going to do the same with the back panel as well. I have a slip knot on my crochet hook. I'm going to locate exactly where I want these stitches to connect, and then I'm going to insert into the back loop of the side panel and then under both loops of that stitch on the back panel as well. And then I'm just going to slip stitch. Last but not least, we have the bag straps. And this part is totally customizable. You can make them as long or as short as you want. For these in particular, I'm chaining 100. But like I said, you can choose to chain less or chain more depending on how long you want those straps to be. Now I'm going to locate the 3rd back bump from the hook, and into that back bump I'm going to half double crochet. And for each back bump going all the way down your chain, you're also going to half double crochet. Here is the last back bump on the chain. I'm going to half double crochet. Next, I'm going to chain 1, and into that same space, I'm going to half double crochet again. Now I'm going to chain 1, and now we've made it to the other side of the chain where you can see these nice stitches. I'm going to half double crochet into that first stitch, and then continue with half double crochets all the way down. Here I am at the end of the other side of the chain, locate that last stitch, and you're going to half double crochet. And then chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, and then slip stitch into that first half double crochet. Now we're going to do one more round of half double crochets, so chain 1 into that same stitch, half double crochet, and then half double crochet all the way down. When we get to this end, locate that first chain 1 space. You're going to half double crochet, chain 1, and then half double crochet into that same chain 1 space. Locate the next chain 1 space, and you're going to do the same. Half double crochet, chain 1, and half double crochet. And then just continue on with the half double crochets. Here we are at the end. Locate that chain 1 space and do the same thing, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet into that chain 1 space. Same thing with the last chain 1 space. And then finish by slip stitching into that first half double crochet of this round. And you want to make sure that you make 2 of these straps for your bag. Now for this tan bag here that we just made, all I did was line up the straps in the inside of the bag. So I'm going to flip this over so you can see. I just lined it up like this and then used a tapestry needle and maybe a foot of extra yarn and just sewed those together. And then for this green bag, I actually put the straps on the outside of the bag and did the same thing, just used a tapestry needle and sewed these 2 pieces together. And then I added some decorative buttons. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.